Single-handedly, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me besides killing the buck this year. There's quite a few deer in here. Look at all these different varying sizes. Those are all doe beds. And then there's 3 more here and then 3 more there. So right here we have an old scrape. You gotta rub on the tree, and you have all these little limbs that are snapped off, and then right here, what they'll do is they'll chew, peel, and they'll leave saliva, and basically that helps them identify which deer has hit the scrape. The deer have been devouring this tree. Like there's prints everywhere, and then they're even bedding up next to the food right here. The deer are hammering this pine tree that fell down. They even have a couple of beds around it so they can feed and then they can bed down. And if you don't know, deer bed so they can be able to process their food. So it's their digestive system basically kicking in. That's why they lay down. That's why when they get up, they poop everywhere. That's just kind of how it works. Every single pin that I set today, there was a deer bed where I put the pin, and multiple too. So it just shows that like the south-facing slopes, if you play the topography right, and you look at the coniferous, like the pine cones, the hemlocks, the firs, all those will show you where they're going to be bedding, and most likely there will be food nearby, especially with all the pine trees falling down. But we're ending the day absolutely dead. I played pickup basketball this morning, and then I just did 7.17 miles shed hunting. I found probably 50 beds or more, maybe 70, in a bunch of different spots in this area. It's a huge chunk of woods. And then, unfortunately, I bumped 3 bucks that were all holding. And then the rest of the deer, I'm bumping them, and I'm sure they're shed bucks. Like, I know for a fact. And just can't find their antlers. And I'm finding all their beds. Their topography is right where I want it to be. Single-handedly, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me besides killing the bucks this year. So I've been following this deer he's not a giant deer by any means, but I've been following him for months. Been trying to look for his sheds, and I've had him on hundreds of trail camera pictures. And I go into this parking lot where there's like this trailhead, and I'm walking back there. I did 7 miles today, not a thing. And then I'm walking out, and on the side, there's someone's house in their yard in the front of the trailhead. I mean, hundreds of people have walked this trail in the last week in the snow. In his front yard are the antlers to this buck. Literally the buck that I've been looking for. And the match set is right there in his freaking yard. I absolutely lost my mind. So I'm like, do I run out in his yard and grab them and leave? Like, what do I do? Because I'm like, if I tell them, maybe they're going to want to keep them. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, I need to do the right thing. So I knocked on his door, and they're like, what do you want? And his wife's like got like an oxygen tank thing or something because she has lung cancer. And I was like, oh boy, this probably isn't the best. And he comes out and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, hey, I've been following this deer for a long time, and his antlers are actually in your yard. Did you know about him, or are they your dogs or something? And he's like, whoa, I'm surprised you told me, or whatever. And we have this long chat, and he's like, that's so cool of you, but he's like, they're just so awesome, I want to keep them. And he's like, they're so cool to hold on to and touch and stuff. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I just didn't say anything, and I just started to tell him about the journey of like this buck and just like all the history I have and how I've been tracking him for, I've literally driven out here 40-50 minutes from my house twice a week, probably, at least, looking every day to like check batteries on cameras and try to find this one in the bigger one. So in the end, this is just absolutely insane. And he's like, I'm shocked that you didn't just take him and run off. And his wife was like, give him to him, like he deserves them. And she was super nice because they did not have to do that. And it ends up being his parents are from England, from the same place as my parents, which was even cooler. So he was a stellar dude, and he wanted photos of him and stuff. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, take him. Like, I'm happy for you. He's like, at first, yeah, I wanted to keep him, but they belong with you. And I'm like, I really appreciate that. So just absolutely insane. They definitely were shed within the last day or two. I have trail camera photos of him 2 days ago with them on. And yeah, unbelievable.
Second most handsome guy around.
Alrighty, still a little bit early, but it's January 23rd. Most, if not all, of the big bucks have dropped. There's still going to be some that will be holding till like February 16th. But we're going to go out and we're going to try to look for some about 40 minutes from my house. I'm going to cover some new ground. I've been walking a bunch of the same stuff to try to find a certain buck, but I found him last time. So we're going to do some new area, because I couldn't find the bigger buck. So either he's been picked up or he shed somewhere deep in the woods or in the water or somewhere where I can't find him, because I've walked every inch of the 1,000 acres pretty much that he could be in. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can find a good one, or anything. Alright, I'm in here looking for the big 10-point and a little bit of a snow flurry, and I have no socks on. Jeez. There's a bed right there. That's a big old rope, too. January 23rd. I did 6.5 or 7 miles. Nada. And I was in some really good stuff, like stuff that I figured they would be in, and they were. Just not antlers. But I found some good hunting spots, and found a lot of good sign on this public piece. When I say 6 miles, or whatever the distance, I'm tracking it on Onyx, and then I'm stopping it, going to another property and starting it again, then stopping and then starting again. So I hit 3 different little pieces today. So yeah, heading back to the car.
I'm a lost cause, baby, don't wait.